percussion. Strings, winds, words,
What is up, guitar legends? Sam Wild here. We've got a really fun lesson today looking at this song from the Little Mermaid. You don't need a capo, which is great. So let's start with the intro and we'll work our way through the song. It's pretty straightforward, guys. Now the first part, I just play the bass riff, which happens twice. Then we come into the verse. Now you don't have to play that intro. You can just sit there and wait and then come in on the verse. For those of you that want to try it, have a look at this tab here. Alright, we're going to start with first finger A string, 3rd fret, and then we have 3rd finger, 5th fret, like that. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. And the first time round, we are going to have to do a roll with the 3rd finger, so we hit the D string, 5th fret, and then we finish E string, 3rd fret, 1st finger. So it's all with these 2 fingers. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Second time round, we go back to the bass note instead of the roll, and then we have the same ending note. Okay, so try and get the timing right because it doesn't come in on the beat. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So do bear that in mind. It's kind of hard to follow with the song because the percussion goes ba-ga-ga before you come in. So it's kind of like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, da-ga-da. If you want to make it soft like I'm making it, then you have to get the palm and you just rest it very lightly on the strings that you're playing. Instead of this, you can have this nice palm mute sound. Now on the last one, we're actually going to play a full chord. Do 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 do. You don't have to. You can just play that final note if you want and come into the C chord. But some of you might want to play this G7 right at the end of the intro. And now you see her sitting there across the way. Again, that intro is optional, a little tricky, you don't have to do that. So on to the verse. Let's have a look at the rhythm first. Right, get your C chord ready. We play this chord a lot in this song because we're in the key of C major. Okay, and the right hand is going to play this: down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, and you can do that for the whole song. Now you see her sitting there across the way. So pause the video, just practice this rhythm. You'll notice I emphasize that upbeat there. I go down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up. Alright, now we can sort of race through the song because we just need to know what chords we need to play, right? So let's start with this verse. We're going to have C major for 4 bars, sitting there across the way. Now, I'm going to add in some passing chords that are optional. You don't have to play them. You can just stay on C, for example, in these 4 bars. Some of you might want to do this G shape. You can actually leave the 1st finger down from your C major chord because it will be negated by this pinky anyway. But we can just add in this little passing chord, the G major here with the D note there with the pinky, just for 1 beat. Again, you don't have to, so it goes, there you see her sitting there across the way. So it's very short, only there for a second. Right, then another optional chord is C7. So the C7 brings us into F major nicely. Okay, so you don't have to do this, but you just add the pinky to 3rd fret on the G string, it turns into a C7. Okay, it sounds quite nice. For this next line we have F major, so pause if you need to practice that chord. We do this for 2 bars, then we have C again. Okay, now in this particular verse, the melody goes, "Didn't a lot to say, but there's something about her." So we can kind of copy the melody if we want to. Again, you don't have to do this, but when you go to C, you can have a C sus on the very first strum. So the first finger is flat, just as it was for F. And then you unflatten the finger to get rid of that sus note. So it's just there for 1 strum. Again, just play C if you want to make it easy, like this. Okay, it just follows the vocals nicely. That's an option for you. Alright, but you don't have to, you can just play C. Now we're on to our 3rd line. For the 3rd line we're going to play G. If I were you, I would play it like this, because coming from C into G, it's a very small movement that needs to be done when you do this shape. Okay, and we have G, G7, but it only comes in on the accented up strum. So all you do for G7 is pinky goes to here, first finger. So we have pinky, and then the first finger is going to come in to make it G7, right? Again, you don't have to do this, you can play G major still, it functions in the same way, pretty much. Still sounds good, or G7, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, C. Okay, now again, you can stay on C major for 2 bars here. So we have that G chord again that we had earlier, which is a nice little passing. Ooh, ah, yeah, yeah. You can hear the vocals kind of doing that. Ooh, ah, yeah, yeah. So you can add that right in the end of this verse here. So as you can see, the actual main chords are just C, F, and we have G major as well. Okay, if you want to keep it simple, you just play those simple chords. Okay, these little add-in chords are just optional if you want to throw those in there. For those of you that want to take your playing to the next level, make sure you sign up to my premium membership website. You'll gain access to all my backing tracks, all of my lessons, and I'll teach you how to improvise, solo, and play advanced chords. Enjoy the rest of your lesson, guys. Now we're on to the 2nd verse. We go straight into this. And we can do exactly the same thing. We can have the basic C major chord going into F, C, G, C, if you want to keep it simple. Right, but again, we can add some nice passing chords that fit the music. So to begin with, we can have, we get this movement. Dun, dun, dun. So the way we do that is we go from C to G7. This is the passing chord. Right, and then we can add the pinky to the top of this C chord. All right, you can see in the diagram there it's on E string 3rd fret. Okay, so this is verse 2. And then it can come back off again. And then we have C7 on beat 4. So again, you can just play C major for this whole thing and that keeps it really simple. But this movement sounds really nice. This 2nd line, we just have F again to C. Then you can do a C sus 4 if you want to add some movement. Dum, bum, 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 bum. Again, it adds that movement if you want to. So you make a C sus shape. Then we have G on this last bar, G7, C. Now if you want to, you keep C major, but you just bring the 3rd finger up. You can have G in the bass. Just temporary, boom, boom. and that brings us nicely into the chorus. Again, you don't have to do that bass change, you can just play C and that's fine. Alright, we're at the chorus now. We're not going to really do any passing chords for the chorus, we'll just keep it simple, especially because we have to change chord faster. So we have C to F to C. Sha la 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 la, ain't that sad? Ain't it a shame? Too bad you're gonna miss the girl. Okay, so we just play the normal chords, C to F to C to G, but then watch out, second line is a different order, C, F, then we swap G to C, then one more C. Again, add the G in the bass if you want to. And this brings us into the instrumental part, which is basically the verse, right? It's the same chords as the verse. So, instrumental part, we have C, optional G in the bass, C again, and we have that C7, F, nice and simple for this part, back to C again. This last line we're going to have something very cool. We're going to have G7, and then it comes off. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You can see the pinky comes down as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, then off, then pinky. Then these fingers come down to make a C add 9. And we get this. Alright, so just to clarify, this line sounds like this. Then for the very last bar we have C, and if you want to do the passing chord, you can do. We have that G again with the pinky. So it's quite tricky, right? You don't have to stop the chords, I'm just doing that to show you where it comes in. But then we have a C with another passing chord. Okay, so after this instrumental's done, we have this just tiny little part that's going to take us into the third verse. All right, so we do the same thing again, C with the passing chord. All right, and that brings us into verse 3. So verse 3, exactly the same as the other verses. You can just play C, F, C, G, C. All right, but if you want to get the passing chords in for this verse, we're going to play C. Then you have that, you can copy that by adding the pinky to the top here on the C chord. And then we have G7, back to a normal C. Like so. And then again we have C7 to F, back to C. That line's quite simple. Okay, so let me just play that again for you. The first line of this, verse 3, we have C, it's the way. Then the last line, simple for this verse, we have G, then G7 to C. If you want, you can add that G in the bass at the end. Okay, now we're going to come into the second chorus, and we're going to do this twice, and again it's the same thing as the last chorus. Don't be scared. You can copy that by adding the passing chord if you want. When we do the chorus again. now we're just going to stay on C for ages. So that's 4 times, and then we have one more. And we can go to G7 just for that last one. And then we cut it off with the right hand. Because it's quite a short and sharp finish there. Alright, that is everything. So as you can see, the song is actually quite simple if you're just playing basic chords with the strumming pattern. It's just those little passing chords that are optional. You don't have to do them. They just kind of give it a bit more flavour. So it's totally up to you based on your ability if you want to add them or not. The play along is coming up, so you have a chance to play this whole thing with me and the song, and I'll have the chord diagrams and all the rhythms up there constantly for the whole thing to guide you through. Alright, so if you found this lesson helpful, guys, please give it a like and make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell icon too. Alright, good luck with the play along. I'll see you in the next lesson.
Percussion.